Hi there, Gary, it's your dad. Sorry I haven't spoken to you for so long, but you mentioned me in your last video and I thought, well, now's the time to probably make myself available to you. I'm in the afterlife and you're in the parallel universe. That's what we call it here, the parallel universe. All those electronic things that you're doing, all your YouTubes and your blogs and things, you know, where you have your flesh life and then you have your electronic life. We can't see your flesh life, we can't see that bit, but we see the electronic bits. So I've seen all your YouTube videos there, Gary, and they're very interesting. You've been very prolific. You do a lot of stuff there on that YouTube, and it's very, very interesting. I've shown some of my friends what you've been up to. I say, there he is, that's my lad Gary. And they say, ooh, he needs a haircut, you know, they say stuff like that. It's alright, they're just messing about. Anyhow, you know, I'm glad I've caught you actually, you know, and I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to talk to you, and you know, you make this contact with me. Because I'm not going to lie to you, Gary, I've been a bit worried about you at various times. I suppose all parents are worried about their children. But thankfully, for most parents here in the afterlife, they don't get a chance to see what their children are up to, you know. It's only those ones who I say have got the electronic thing going on that find out how worried and difficult their lives are through your broadcasts and what have you. Anyhow, and I have been watching your broadcast and I've been quite worried about you. But I'm not anymore, you know, I'm not anymore. I'll explain why in a bit, but I just wanted to say a few things first, you know. Because, you know, me and your mum, I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want this to hurt your feelings. Me and your mum, we didn't really plan you, you know. We didn't plan you. You know, you were the result of a night of passion between your mum and I. And it was great, don't get me wrong, it was great. But we didn't think before we started, let's see if we can make a baby together. And we'll call him Gary. And we'll raise him, and, you know, we'll do this and we'll do that. And, you know, we didn't think that. We really didn't. We just got together because we liked each other, you know. She liked what I've got and I like what she's got, you know. I don't want to embarrass you, but you know what I mean, yeah. And we had a great time, you know. And yeah, we probably should have taken precautions. We were stupid, we were young, we made mistakes, you know, just like you're walking, you stumble over a rock without, because you're not watching where you're going. It was like that, you know. We stumbled over a rock, we weren't watching where we were going, we were too caught up in our own pleasure, you know, and the result was Gary, really. So yeah, I'm sorry, you were an accident waiting to happen, you might say. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you know, once your die is cast, I don't know. I mean, the way I look at it, you know, and you're going to think this is terrible because I've seen some of your videos, and I've got to tell you, I think the videos you make, where you call about phantasmagoricals, you say, it's really funny. But I got to tell you, this is going to sound a bit like one of those phantasmagorical things you talk about. You know, from my position, you know, here in the afterlife and having the overview, which is, you know, because when you're dead, you know, you get this overview. You don't get on the ground. It's like the top of a mountain. You look down, and you see the land. You've walked too long, can't see it from the ground. When you get this overview, I'll tell you what it's like, and you can sneer if you want. It's a bit like not being separate bodies. You know what I mean? It's like me and you. When I was, you know, obviously when we were together, particularly, but even now, actually, even from this distance, it's not like we were separate people. It's like, it would be like me saying my arm now that's holding this camera is a separate person, and I'm not responsible for that. I know that's not how it feels to you, and I'm sorry, and you'll never understand this until you're dead, and then you won't understand it in the same way. But it's like we're the same person, you know, just two bits of the same person. You know, like that Freud bloke said, you know, you got your age, you got your ego, you got your super ego. But what it looks like from this perspective is, you know, you got your parent and you got your child. Transactional analysis, look, it's like that. It's not exactly like that. But, you know, you got your parent and you got your child and you got your grandparent and all those kind of things. So it does feel a bit like that. But of course, that's no consolation to you, and you don't need to take that into account at all. It's just an observation. But yeah, so sorry about the accidental birth of an anarchist. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see you so productive, really. I'm sorry you're unhappy about stuff, or happy about, actually I'm not sorry you're unhappy about stuff, or happy about stuff. You know, you're doing what people do when they're alive, aren't you, really? You're doing the happy and sad thing. And that's kind of fine, I suppose, really. I mean, it'll all be gone one day, you know that, don't you? It's just when is the question, isn't it? I mean, I know, obviously, because I have access to the great book of all knowledge, which you will have access to one day. But because you become part of it, don't you? You know. But yeah, it all disappears eventually. It all goes away in the end, and that's that, really. Because most things have gone away. You know, 97% of animal species. At the time you're alive, Gary, 97%. Oh, fucking hell! I wish the fucking flies didn't come into the afterlife. You know, I wish they fucking didn't, but they do. Anyway, when you're alive, there, Gary, 97% of animal species that have ever been alive are extinct. 97%, and it does gobsmack me sometimes. The rest of us, you have a good laugh, actually. We laugh, actually, up here about protection of species and how your lot, you know, living humans, not you, of course, but a lot of living humans kind of worship the idea of animals. You know, oh, it's terrible, this animal's going to go extinct, fucking hell, we better preserve it, we better catch some great orc semen and put it in a test tube and freeze it. You know, fucking hell, let these things pass, man. All things must pass. Who said that? George Harrison, great bloke. All things must pass. See? That's what I think. So, yeah, what else? I mean, you've got some interesting things in store for you, because obviously I can see the future, because the future isn't really the future, you know, it's just like you know, you get a line and you extend it into a plane, and the plane extends into a volume, and then the volume extends into a hypervolume. You're living in a volume right now. I'm living in a hypervolume, and so the future is just part of that hypervolumetric extension, is what we call it. But anyway, so you've got an interesting hypervolumetric extension in the future waiting for you. Some of it'll be good, some of it'll be really shit. You're going to fucking hate me when you get to the shit bits, and particularly when you and this is one of the reasons why I'm proud of you, actually. I'm choking up a bit, actually, just thinking about it. It's, you know, one of the reasons that you have such a bad time isn't because you have a bad time yourself, you know, sorry about the stroke and everything. It's because of the other folk around you, you know. You've got too thin a skin, mate, you know. That's not a bad thing, it's just an observation. You know, the people around you, the suffering of folk around you affects you a lot. And I can understand that. I can understand that. So, yeah. I think people misunderstand that sometimes, and it is a bit immobilising. I wish I could say be careful with that, but there's no point really, is there? People are who they are. Yeah, but I'm glad you're that way rather than the other way around. There's a lot of callous folk about. I look at some of the comments in your comment section on that YouTube videos site thing that you use. Some people are so callous, aren't they? Fucking hell. Things people say to each other. Wow. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Oh yeah, just the last thing, just to close, really, which is this thing about being proud. You know, because I am proud of you, and it's only recently that I've realised how proud I am of you, and it's because I guess I just didn't understand a lot of it, you know. Because as I said, you know, at the top end, a lot of my observation of you and looking at these YouTube video things and listening to what you've got to say, I've been worried, you know. I've seen you walk around and I've seen you fall over. I saw you get naked in one video. What's all that about, you know? And I'm always worried about that. My mates here were cackling a bit at that one. But I've been worried about you. I thought he's not doing anything with his life, this bloke. Not that you need to, but he's thrashing around, you know. It was thrashing around. It was like a worm on a pavement. You know, like a worm on a hot patio. It just does that. I thought, oh no, Gary's like a worm on a patio. But recently, you know, I can see something different in you. It's like you've got focus for your life, and of course, focus for your life, direction, purpose, all that kind of shit. I know you probably think that's bogus because it's kind of religious and stuff, isn't it? But purpose is just an ability to observe the hyperdimensionality of the hypercube that you're living in. That's all it is, you know. Don't worry about it. But you know, recently you do seem to have purpose. You seem to have seen a future that you'd like to move towards. And that's all it is, you know. It's just not thrashing around. It's just seeing a future. Any fucking future. You know, don't let anybody tell you it has to be the right one or which one to aim for. Just seeing a future. is enough just to get you off the damn pavement, you know, get you back in the ground again, because that's all we're after, just get back in the ground like the rest of the worms. You know, and this antinatalism thing has really fucking put you on your edge there, mate, I tell you. I'm so proud of you that you found this antinatalism thing. You know, this idea, you know, it's a great idea. It's a bit of a dangerous idea. You meet a lot of, I'm sure you get a lot of flack, and that flack will make you suffer even more than you're already suffering. And people around you will suffer as a result. But, you know, if that's your thing, just go for it, you know. I say just go for it. Pursue it. Convince people. Make endless videos. Write to your congressman. Try and start a political party. Start a, what's it called, like a newsletter or something. People around you are like the idea. Write a book. Now, don't write a book. You're better at making videos than writing books. But, you know, do all that stuff. Just go for it, you know. Put your idea in the world. Because the ideas outlive us, you know. Hardly ideas outlive us. And ideas feel no pain. In fact, there's an idea living next door to me here. Nice bloke. Nice bloke. Evolution. You know, he feels no pain. You know, people have been slacking him off for years. Poking him with sticks. Doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit. It's just an idea. People say he's dangerous. He doesn't give a shit. So you go for it, mate. Make that idea real. Send that idea over here. I'll look after it. I'll introduce him to Mr. Evolution next door. We'll have a great time together, those two, antinatalism and evolution. Yeah. So you do it, mate. And if you peg out, I'll see you over here. Well, I say if. Of course, you're going to peg out. I know exactly where, and I know exactly when, and I know exactly how. I'm not going to tell you any details, but yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that, actually. Yeah, I won't say anything about that. But I'll see you over here, you know. And but as I say, try and get the idea up and running first. Try and solidify the idea. I'll, you know, as I say, I'll show it around here, and it'll be waiting for you when you come over. All right. Anyhow, nice talking to you, Gary, and thanks for mentioning my name in one of your videos. And I'm off now. So see you. Bye.